This is how Anna Leigh Waters has the best backhand in the world. And pretty soon, you're gonna have the best backhand in the world, because in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the exact technique behind Anna Leigh's backhand that makes it so powerful. Number one, how to hold your paddle exactly like Anna Leigh Waters. 99% of professional pickleball athletes hold their paddle in this exact same grip. And that's because it makes sure that their paddle face isn't too far down to where they're hitting the ball directly into the ground or into the net. It's not too far up that it's just shooting over the fence. The name of that grip is Eastern, and you're specifically gonna be using this grip with your non-dominant hand. So for me, that would be my left hand, and I'm gonna teach you how to do that now. So you're gonna put your trigger finger or your index finger on your non-dominant hand at the center of your paddle. She does the center of her paddle. Okay, she doesn't put it over here like some other pros might, and she definitely doesn't put it over here. I don't know of any pros that do that, but just thought that I would mention it. She's at about the center of her paddle. And the reason for that is it's gonna help her to know where her paddle is at in space. Just having that touch point on your paddle really helps you to be able to make contact with the ball, because it feels more like it's your hand hitting the ball. So just a weird psychological thing. That's why she does it. She probably doesn't think about that or has ever thought about that, but that's one of the things that contributes to her having the best backhand. So she's here at the middle. Watch what happens if I move my trigger finger slightly downwards, okay? So if I move my trigger finger to here, watch what happens with my paddle angle. Maybe you can't pick it up on camera, but you see how it slightly opens? Down, up, down, up. Hopefully that wasn't extremely boring for you, but you get the point. If you go down, it's gonna open more. So she's right at the center, and by so doing, it puts that paddle face at the correct angle so that she's not shooting balls into the stars, but also she's not shooting balls directly into the ground. So this is what she's found works best for her. You can move yours around to wherever you feel like is best, but just make sure that you consistently stick with that same exact spot. So the way that you're gonna find that exact grip, turn your paddle to its butt like this. As you can see, this is the top bevel. There's 8 total sides to the paddle. This top bevel is Eastern. And so you're gonna put the inside of your index knuckle and the bottom of your palm pad right here, as if you were to draw a line on that exact bevel with your non-dominant hand and also with your dominant hand. And now you're in her exact grip to hit through the ball. You can make slight modifications to do whatever works best for you, but that essentially is her grip. By the way, the sponsor of this video is Selkirk. If you guys are in need of any paddles or gear, I cannot suggest them enough. Absolutely love their paddles. They just barely came out with the new Halo series. This is one of the paddles. They look absolutely sick, and they have tons of spin. They're raw carbon fiber. So be sure to check them out. I will link them in the description. I'll also link them at the top of the screen. You can use my code ADV-Playbook and you'll get a free e-gift card after your purchase. So check them out. Number 2, the unit turn. Leave out this one thing and you won't have any power on your backhand. So it's absolutely essential that you have it. A unit turn is just that. You turn your unit, if that makes sense. So you're turning towards the side fence. By so doing, you're loading, you're rotating your upper body to be able to coil in all that power so that you can then release through the ball. So if you think about it, as soon as you know a ball is going to your backhand, you're gonna turn your body towards that side and start running. Okay, the only difference with the unit turn is that you're taking your paddle with you as you turn. Now, I'm not saying that as in you're playing singles and you're running across the whole court and you're like this the whole way. You're gonna be sprinting, 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 and then eventually you're gonna do your full unit turn with your paddle being brought back, facing towards the side fence. Some people will have the tip of their paddle up. Anna Leigh Waters, on the other hand, has the tip of her paddle kind of outwards, just like this. So to show you guys that from a side profile, it's gonna look something like this, okay, with her tip towards the side, still towards the side fence, right? But it's facing outwards, not necessarily upwards. So this is her entire unit turn. She's here, and then she's gonna step into that ball and crack into it. As I said, if you skip this, you'll miss out on a ton of power because this is creating the coil that you can then uncoil through. So you're literally just rotating your hips towards the side fence and your legs, and that's gonna help you to be able to load through that shot. It's a unit load, and once you load everything up, you're gonna be able to create all that power and all of that spin on your shot. Step number 3 is the actual swing path that she follows. Now, she has the same exact swing path as every single person that has a backhand that's good. But what sets her apart and just a couple of other pros like Connor Garnett and Colin Schick is they do one thing that's different from most. And that one thing is what sets them apart and makes their backhands so exceptionally good, at least in my opinion. What that one thing is as they make contact with the ball, their head is absolutely still and their eyes and head are in alignment with that contact point. They hit the ball and their eyes and head will stay at that contact point for a couple of milliseconds, and then they're back into their ready position. So keep that in mind. Keeping your head still is extremely important. You'll see a lot of players as they swing, will go like this, they'll swing their head up, or they'll look at where they're going as they make contact. Keep it still and you'll be a whole lot more consistent at hitting that shot. So this is something that she does absolutely beautifully every single time that she hits. One more thing to note before we go over the actual swing path is what she does with her feet. And that depends on the ball that she gets. If she's getting an offensive ball, meaning a ball that she can step in and take a crack on, she's gonna step in with her dominant leg. So her dominant leg is gonna step in and then she's gonna hit the ball. If it's more a defensive ball or she's on the run, she's going to step and hit at the same time with her non-dominant leg. Step, hit, step is really what it is. So she's finishing by stepping with that dominant leg, but she steps and hits, boom, boom, and then she's following through the shot. And that's because when you're on the run, you're just trying to get to the ball. Now that same exact thing can happen when she's on the run and she finishes by stepping with this leg. That's not an optimal position to be in. You really want to practice stepping with that outside leg when you're on the run, because then you're open to the whole court. Whereas if you're here, you're closed to the whole court. You can really only hit the shot down the line. So Anna Leigh's actual swing path, she has her unit turn. She's stepping in on an offensive forehand. Either way, the swing path is going to be relatively the same. I'm just gonna show you guys what the offensive looks like, okay, with that dominant leg forward. I'm here, and then she's gonna drop down, tip of paddle, edge of paddle is still facing downwards. Okay, it's not coming flat. Still facing downwards. As she pulls forward, it goes flat, okay? As she pulls forward, it's now flat, and then she's coming outwards, upwards, and then she wraps her arms around her neck. So she's here, down on the frame, pulls forwards, and puts her paddle face downwards at the same time. That's the most essential part. And then she's doing something called a windshield wiper here, where she brushes up the back side of the ball, wraps her arms around her neck. That's gonna create all the topspin. This outward motion is going to create all the power. So if you don't do one of those two things, then you're gonna obviously lose out on one of those two things. So make sure that you're doing both. We're here, down on the frame, pull, and we put that paddle face downwards, brush outwards and upwards, wrap our arms around her neck, and that is her exact swing motion. The only thing that changes about her swing motion, if she's hitting down the line, her swing is going to be more compact and it's going to finish out in front of her. She's not gonna wrap it all the way around her neck. She's gonna finish out in front of her here, but she's still finishing that entire windshield wiper. She's going cross court, she's gonna finish around the side of her shoulder here in order to get the ball cross court. So these are the two differences. Down the line, cross court. It's literally that simple of a thing that you can get out and practice in order to get your ball where you want it to go. Now that you know how to do Anna Leigh's serve, make sure that you get out and practice doing it, because practice makes improvement. And if you want to learn how to do the serve that is taking over pickleball, the Big Papa Jimmy serve, this is the fastest serve in all of pickleball. You can click this video right here. I think you're going to absolutely love it. Be sure to leave a like on your way out if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.